watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.
A very good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from wherever you're watching us. Yes, we are bright and early right here in the middle of the most, originally from Kenya. Some people think I am Nigerian. Please, Nigerians, don't claim me. But next time in my other life, I want to become Nigerian by force. Some people think I'm Ugandan, some Congolese, some Zimbabwean. But you know why? It's because I have mixed with so many Africans in the diaspora. In fact, all the 54 countries. Very interesting. I met somebody from Chad last month. I have never met anybody from Chad. So now I can boastfully say that I have worked and met with Africans from 54 African countries right here in the diaspora. And I can tell you one thing about them. They're very hardworking. They're very enterprising. They are high achievers. They turn what's small into a giant from nothing to something. But one country I must give credit to is Nigeria. A lot of them are so inspirational. If you do not have a Nigerian friend, a Nigerian brother, sister, mom, please go and grab one, because I grabbed myself one who is so inspirational. We were together on Ben Television for over 13 years. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, please drum roll as I welcome the one and only Don Pedro Okojie. Now, some of you might look at you and say you're a regular on the show, but we're always on the show talking about other things. But today, you're on the show because you are one of the inspirational Africans right here in the UK, and you deserve to be celebrated.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow.
I think you're very right about the Africans in diaspora.
Right.
You see, one thing we need to do is maybe to pop up our marketing ourselves,
right,
promoting ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, in the midst of that, we also have, of course, encourage our culture, but we still have education there.
Right.
We still also have the entrepreneurship, because I see that most Africans are hands-on.
We are very enterprising.
Hands-on.
And we will never lack.
Yes, they would turn anything 0 to 1 million.
Incredible. And so that's the reason why I brought you here today, to tell us your journey from where you started right here in the diaspora, or even in Nigeria. There are young people watching right now that want to be inspired, and it's about, let's be honest, I always say that money is very important for freedom and security. So the young people watching right now, they want to know how to make money for freedom and security. How did you do it? I know that Nigeria before is not the one today. The UK before is not like the one today. But talk us through, how did you make it to where you are?
Well, first of all, let me say that it is also by the grace of the Almighty that we are all living here. Now, but what I saw from my own end is that we in my generation, and when I say my generation, I'm talking of people 40 years above.
You don't have to mention your age, my
brother. No. Okay. I wouldn't. I'm very young.
Okay.
I'm just 22. I'm just 22.
It's okay.
So, you see, we are lucky. You know why I say we are lucky? We came from the time when the television was black and white.
Right.
And it was boxed.
They're getting your age now. It's okay. It was boxed.
It was boxed.
Yeah.
And we also didn't know that anybody can pick up the telephone and walk with it. It must be on a permanent place.
It was glued on that...
on a box.
Yeah.
It must ring, and you pick it, and the cord will be with you, and you leave it there.
Yeah.
I came from the old school, but now things have changed. No, things have become better.
Right. So things have changed for the better.
Very much for the better.
But when you look at yourself, now, how you were achieving back then, was it more difficult?
Oh, yes.
Was it? Because the people watching right now, some young people think that it's difficult now.
Yes, they can. The young people now, yes, they can say it's difficult now because they are here now. They are now. They didn't see it past. They don't even know there was a black and white TV, there was no colored. They didn't know there's a telephone that does not move everywhere. They didn't even know on the telephone you cannot make a video. They didn't know that.
Right.
They met it. So that's why it's good for us to be talking about the narrative, where we are coming from, for them to appreciate where they are.
Share your journey.
Exactly. Now, for example, I started out from Nigeria. When I came into Lagos, after I failed my school SAT 3 times.
You did
my
fail?
GCSE. Yeah, 3 times.
Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times.
What happened now? Why were you failing?
Well,
Why were you failing?
According to my father, I don't have brain for school. I'm not a person that should go for an educated career. I should go and learn carpentry or tailoring or mechanic, which were fantastic trades, because even in my hometown, in my father's compound, we had all these different trades there.
Right.
And so the old man said, I can tell any of them to take you up as an apprentice. Right. I was ready for it. But fortunately for me, I loved music.
Right.
So that's how I joined NTA Benin. When I joined NTA Benin, I was just a nobody. I was a studio hand. I mean, you own studio, so you know what a studio hand is.
Yeah.
We carry things up and down. And from there, I discovered I could sing a little. And they allowed me, thank God for Emma Ogosi and Pauline Long, they allowed me to come on air and do Bob Marley. And when they saw that I sang
why did you choose Bob Marley?
Because at that
That's a bit extreme, like.
Yeah, that was a time of Bob Marley as well.
Right.
He had just brought out Exodus.
And did you have a Bob Marley voice?
I did very well, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do it right now.
Okay, go on then.
Exodus, the movement of your people. One love, one heart. Let's come together and be all right. You know, anyway, I started from there.
Oh my God, I didn't even know. You need to be hired for some.
And I know you for how many years now?
I didn't even know you could sing like that.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my God.
So from there, I moved to Lagos. I wasn't sure I had even a music career or anything. Right. When I came to Lagos, I joined my friends, and I discovered that everybody wanted to be a musician. Okay. And at that time, it's not what's happening now.
No.
You must have a contract from a recording company.
Right.
So that you can get a demo and do your record.
Yes.
Now, record companies that time too, they were like from the moon. They don't even want to talk to you, the bluff and all that.
Yeah. You can't. You'd be so lucky to get through the door. The record label.
Exactly. Yeah. So I now told my friends, Alexito and Co. They're my friends, and we all play music together then.
Yeah.
I said, look, every day you go to a record company looking for contracts.
Yeah.
Why don't I be the guy that you guys would trust? Give me your demo tapes.
Yeah.
And I'll go to the record companies to get interviews for you and maybe get you signed on.
Right, yes.
So in order to save transport, that's why I brought that idea.
Yeah.
And they agreed. And then I started going to record companies. Anybody in Lagos today, if you know the distance between Anthony and not just Festac or My 2, Polygram was in before the Alaba market.
Right.
I used to walk from Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm talking of about, it should be up to 20-something miles.
What?
To save money.
Wait, in one day?
Yeah, of course. I start by around 6. I get there by 2, 3.
Yeah.
And when I finish with them, then my mission is accomplished. But the money for transport is in my pocket. I can now use it for something else. That was the idea why I was walking. Not because I cannot get there, you know. And well, it wasn't a pain to me then. Right. It's now I see that it was painful. Then it was like fun.
But anyway, it kept you fit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Who wanted to get fit? So anyway, I got one of my friend, Alexito, who got the first contract with Polygram Records.
Right.
And that was exciting. And when we finished the music, it was a big monument in Nigeria. They call it Tickle Me, the title of the album. Tickle me, tickle me, tickle me, a butterfly. Baby Wala Colombo.
Hey.
Baby Wala Colombo.
Oh my God.
That's from the guy.
Really?
That's from Alexito, yeah.
And you can sing as well like that?
Yeah, the problem about my singing though,
why didn't didn't you carry on? Anyway, let me just cut you. Why didn't you carry on? Or you okay? Are you coming with it?
Yeah,
You're coming.
I went in. I saw the gap.
Yeah.
Representing artists. So I saw myself being an artist manager.
So you stopped your own talent.
Yes, in order to promote others.
In order to promote.
That's
others.
what I did. Yes.
Why? Because there was more money in promoting others than making talent.
No, first of all, we were too many artists who were looking for contracts.
Okay.
And I'd also discovered that there are people at the back of production. You see, okay, we are here now, Pauline Long, Dr. Pauline Long and myself, but so many people are working behind the scene to make sure this program comes on air.
Yes, yes.
Those people also deserve credit. That's how music is as well. I discovered that the instrumentalists, the engineers and all that, nobody knows them. But they earn too.
They earn a lot.
Exactly. So,
so back then, was there more money than now for management?
Nah. The money is now.
The money is now.
I won't complain of the past.
Yeah.
But this is where the money is now. But you see, by that time though, we were not focused on money. You know, we were so passionate about doing it, you know, making music, making people happy. That was it. And we were very concerned about our lyrics, our arrangements. Our production was always top notch.
So I'm picking. So far from failing your exams 3 times, you go into work into a studio as a runner, somebody that picks things up and running. Just a runner, also cleans the studio and all of that stuff.
Yes.
And then from there, you spot your singing talent. You try to sing. Then you drop it. Then you become management.
Yes.
And then from there.
From management, instead of managing one artist like it used to be.
Yeah.
I saw myself managing my second artist, my third artist. And you know, all these artists were big artists. For example,
so you had a sea of artists.
Mike Okojie is a big artist in my time. I don't know if you've heard of Mike Okojie.
Yes, I have.
Time na money, oh, time na money. Yeah. And then I managed our fantastic Onyeka Onwenu of living memory. Onyeka, she was, you know Onyeka, one love, bring us together. Now, these artists that I mentioned were fantastic frontline artists.
At the time.
At that time.
Yes.
So, as their manager, with my 25% for everything they do, that time it was even easier to earn from them because they weren't going to argue with you. Especially Onyeka, who bought me my first car.
Are you serious?
Yes. I just came to a meeting in the office and on a Monday morning, and she said, just like now, and she said, I've been looking at the window, seeing you coming, Pedro. Did you just drop off that downfall? Downfall is what we call the bus. Yeah. And I said, yes. Really? And you are dressed like this with your suit and all that? And I was laughing. I said, yeah. You don't have a car? I said, no, I don't. But I'm going to buy one. I'm saving. She said, no, you cannot be my artist manager. I don't have a car. We've got to sort that out.
And that's how you got your first car?
And she got me a first car. You know. And then Bessie and Hedges Music came to town. Bessie and Hedges is cigarette, you know that. Yes. But on the other side, it's a marketing company as well because they push their product. So they came to use music as a vehicle. Exactly. And then they signed up Mike Okojie first. It was huge. Mike Okojie was
that's as a brand ambassador.
Yes.
That was huge.
He had billboards
you can't do that right now. No. People are very conscious about
exactly. And after Mike Okojie, they signed Onyeka Onwenu as well.
So both of your artists.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So you were swimming in money. How old were you then?
I was in my 20s. You know.
Early 20s?
Yeah, no, late 20s. Yeah. So not really swimming in money.
Yeah.
Did I even value what money was? I didn't value it. As I was getting it, I was spending it. You know. And so when we were doing, when we had Mike Okojie and Onyeka, the people of Bessie Nigeria now, I was talking to them. And of course, there's a big company in Nigeria that Lintas. They have no, not Lintas. Sorry, it will come to me. They are the company that represent them in marketing.
Right.
And so they were always also in constance with speaking to me about my ideas and all that. So that's how the idea of going to live shows
started.
Yes. Yeah. So they agree that they can use their artists to do live shows. And then attract other unknown artists to open the event And so those artists can now also grow, and we can have more artists on the Best Energies label.
That's right, yes.
And that became Golden Tones. We had Golden Tones there, you know. Now, I don't want to go much into that because there's one of my big brother, I.B. Gehan, Antonia, who brought from the U.S. A big, massive equipment that can light up the stadium. And it was the first time in Nigeria we saw such a massive... So he was the one we rely on for sound. But
when he did all these live concerts.
Yeah, most of the live concerts, he does it. But when we're now going into Golden Tones, the English guys brought in an English company to bring in their equipment, saying that guy's equipment were not up to date. Right. Whereas the guy was ready to go back to the States and bring new equipment, but they wouldn't have that. As a matter of principle, because I brought him in initially when we were negotiating, I just felt, oh, these guys are going to just use us and dump us.
Well, that's what they did back then.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, Africans have become very...
wise and smart.
Yes. Right now, very smart.
Yes.
You know, we call in collaborations. We don't want to be used anymore.
So from there, I got a guy called Abbas Akonde Obesere. Your friend, Dr. Dayo.
Right.
He introduced me to Abbas.
Right.
As far as he didn't just only introduce me, he convinced me that I should promote Fuji music. You know, we have a music called Fuji.
Oh, yes, I know Fuji music.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Obesere plays Fuji. And me, I didn't understand Fuji. So Dayo took me to a place called Munshin, where the boy plays. And even though I couldn't hear the language very well, the crowd was
huge.
surprised.
They were going crazy.
What is he saying that this is what I'm crazy about?
Like Afrobeats, like now.
Yeah. He told me, said, that's what you have to find out.
Yeah.
So I went to Stadium Hotel. Yeah. I saw the boy again. And I said, okay, there's something here. Now, that Obesere, for example, was my first artist that I got promotion for from the U.S. Went for a U.S. tour.
Wow.
Exactly. With all the big artists I had before, this is the man they choose to start. And, of course, I now had Papa Osadebe, late Papa Osadebe, Osita Osadebe, a huge musician too.
Yeah.
Chief was, oh, God. If you ask anybody in Nigeria who's somebody, they know Chief and they know his music. Anyway, so all this while, because you talked about my music, I didn't see myself doing my music because I saw from artists how uncomfortable they are when you, the manager, want to go to the microphone.
Yeah, but that means you sacrificed your own talent.
I had to. Yes, of course. I had to.
Okay.
I had to. So anyway, that's how I got to the U.S.
That's how you got to the U.S.
Yes, I played.
Started working there.
No. We did Obesere. We came back to Nigeria. I went the second time with I think it was Sonny Neji or one other person. We came back to Nigeria again. Then I take Papa Osadebe. Osadebe's one was so successful because there's this club, this Igbo club called People's Club of Nigeria. Right. That was one of the biggest Nigeria club you can ever think of. They were everywhere you can find an Igbo man. And they were well organized. So Papa's American tour was one of the best I enjoyed. Well, that is where that education thing started creeping in.
What your dad used to say.
Yes.
That you're not good, you're not good.
When I saw myself going into international shows and all that, standing in front of television and all that, I was now having confidence that no. There's something
special about you.
It is something,
you've done something that at the time people were not doing.
Exactly.
You were the first person to get all of these artists,
Yeah, one of, not the first.
All of these artists, major artists.
Exactly, very major.
Gigs in the US.
Yes.
So that triggered you?
Yeah, so I started, my promoter then, Julius Motajo, who was my partner and my senior promoter, he said, I told him about my story and he said, wow, I can't believe you didn't even go, you don't have a degree. I said, well, if degrees can open doors, the one I don't have is still opening doors. I said, no, I think you need to just brush that part up. Come on. So I decided to stay back in the US because I always get multiple visa to 2 years. But unfortunately in the US as well, I had a group of friends who the only thing we were doing was drinking and smoking. You see? So when I lived in that life for about 2 years, I didn't even see where I was going.
You did you go to school? Did you go
No, I didn't go to school in the US.
So what were you doing there for 2 years?
Oh, I was promoting. We were still doing promotion. Yeah, go to
But
Nigeria, come back, and all that.
Okay.
So
then after the US.
So some guys came from London. Tony and one of his colleagues, they said they've been hearing about my promotion, and that is they would have preferred if I finish America, I come to UK, so we can do the same tour with the artists I've taken to America. But I told them, I said, you need to give us the visa in Lagos, because if we take visa from the US, they will not give us. But if we take the visa from there, then we can finish in the US and come here. They agreed.
And so now you.
And then
that's how you landed to the UK.
Yes.
Right.
That's
So
how I came to the UK.
The UK is quite a ride. So you know what? Let's go in for a break, and we'll be right back to hear more about how he excelled in the UK and beyond. We'll be right back. Please.
You are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God. You are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God. You are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.
Welcome back. Yes, we are live with the inspirational Don Pedro Okojie, who has a very interesting journey all the way from Nigeria to the US to UK to I don't know where else. Welcome back. Yeah. So, as we were talking, now
Yes.
we've got now from where you finished the US.
Yes.
And you're just about to land in the UK.
Yes. And then the UK was very welcoming.
Right.
And then I discovered that in the when I came in here, because I didn't know Europe very well. I've only been to Amsterdam before for the North Sea Jazz Festival.
Right.
And so I told my colleagues who brought me here, I said, look, I discovered that Belgium is just very close by.
Next door, yeah.
Spain is just there.
Yeah.
France is just there. I said, look, we shouldn't be doing UK. We should do Europe. And they agreed we should do it because they had friends in all those places. And we brought that my artist, Abbas Obesere. He started the UK tour. And it was fantastic. But that's when we came for just 2 months. And we ended up doing it for 6 months.
Right.
So when we finished the tour, that was when I decided, oh, let me stay back a bit and even know the UK because I didn't know the UK.
So your artist went back and you stayed?
Yeah, my artist went back. Because, like I told you, I always get 2 years multiple all the time.
Yeah.
So when I stayed back, I discovered that even the house I was living around, I discovered 2 universities.
Around your house?
Around where I live.
Yeah.
And when I was living in New Cross, there was Goldsmith right there. There was Lambert College. There was these. There were schools everywhere.
but so, you don't have qualifications, so you're like...
Yeah, so my girlfriend, who also wanted to go to uni, there was an open day. She said I should drive her there to attend the open day. That's how I went to the open day, Thames College. As I was waiting at the car park, a very good gentleman who came to me said, sorry, sir, are you trying to drive out? I said, no, I brought someone, my friend, and she's inside. He said, well, why don't you come in too? I said, yeah, well, I mean, it's about entry to university, but I don't have the qualifications. I said, how do you know? I said, I know. He said, but come in, sir. So I came in, yeah. And then the guy introduced me to someone else who now said he's a career advisor. And we started talking. He said, I should tell you about my educational background, And I said, there's nothing much to say.
Were you shy to say?
No.
Yeah.
I was getting older.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that was something I don't want to be proud of.
You don't have GCSEs, you don't have degree, you don't
nothing. You know. So the guy now said to me, what have you done with your life apart from education? So I told him about my musical exploit.
Yeah.
And the guy said, wow, that alone is a dissertation.
Yeah.
He said, so what I want to do for you now is, we have what we call the media department, and they have music, marketing, Come and meet the head of the department and have a chat with him. I'm sure he wants you. Now, apparently, I won an award in Nigeria in 1991, Artist Manager of the Year, and I was a runner-up for Promoter of the Year as well, International Promoter of the year after. And these are part of the things I told them. So the head of the department said, you won an award? Are you sure? I said, well, I'll give you my details. He said, yes, he will like it. He gave me a form to fill and all that. And he said, they will check with the embassy. See, because if I'm an award winner, they like it. I can be an inspiration to the other students.
Oh, wow.
So the guy said, because you don't have a GCSE, there's another way you can still qualify. They call it BTEC.
Yes, BTEC, yeah.
Said, I can put you for that. The school will pay your fees.
Wow.
And I said, wow.
Child of grace.
And I said, I'm not British. He said, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah?
It's a matter of your talent. We like to harness talent.
The university wants your talent.
Can you imagine? So
they want to claim your talent. An African who is brilliant. Come on now. I told you we are golden.
So they took me in, and I did the BTEC. Apart with distinction. And I couldn't believe what distinction I could get. I mean,
and back home, your dad already told you that you're not clever.
My lovely father, my wonderful old man. So anyway, when I did the BTEC there, I asked them, I said, can I get a degree after this? Yeah, you've done your GCSE. You can go and do your first degree.
Right.
Wow, what do I want to do first degree? Filmmaking. Southbank University. Southbank welcomed me very well. And I got enrolled, and I studied that. I went to Westminster, though, to do my master's, which I couldn't finish.
Yeah.
Because during the dissertation, we're having a problem of the cost for the fees. I had now become British.
Yeah.
But they were saying I was a homeboy when I started the course. So I was supposed to pay £9,000 instead of £3,000. Now, being in England and doing my degrees, I was now more confident in myself. And after now doing the film course, I was now ready to go into television, broadcasting, or filmmaking, or anything that's around it.
That was a bold move.
Yeah, that's how I went into Ben TV.
From artist management to
and
being
promotion.
on television.
Yes.
You know, media, TV, front and back, and that's wow.
Yes.
And so I know you from, I didn't even know all of this backstory. I know you from Bent Television. Of course, we've been there for more than 10 years.
Yes, we're
You've
together.
been probably there more than me.
Yeah, we came nearly
together at the same time.
Yeah, maybe by a year or less.
Yeah, maybe about, 12 years or something like that. But, you know, it was brilliant there. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, Ben TV is something else.
Oh, yeah.
It was a family of...
The team,
talent were coming from nowhere.
Talent, it was like home.
Of course.
And of course, that's where I met you, and I saw also your presenting skills, your media skills, and all of. And you always inspired me. But I didn't even know that after that you were into real estate, you were into this. You're always doing something else. Now, as I said, we live in a society where there's a lot of young people, especially, in Africa, that are saying they have no opportunities.
Yes.
Now, having listened to where you've come from nothing, from someone that did not pass their exams.
Yes.
You failed not once, not twice, but 3 times.
That's correct.
Somebody that was written off to suddenly, become artist management, to suddenly go into media, go into real estate, go into, what can you tell any young person watching right now that is struggling with making money? I like to be very direct. It's about making money. Every day somebody should make money because you're spending it every day. Even when you're eating food in your home, you've bought that food with money.
That's
so
correct.
Which means you're spending money. When you're using toilet roll, you bought that toilet roll with money.
Yes.
That means you're spending money. So a young person sitting there and has no hope and thinking, there is nothing for me. Remember when we did that show about don't leave your country, don't japa.
Yeah.
And all of them were like, no, if I get the opportunity right now, I will leave this country. What can you tell them? Because your story for me is phenomenal.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'll say, if any of you young guys, ladies, who are in Nigeria or any part of Africa,
and young gentlemen as well, trust me.
Yeah, of course.
Not just
of course.
the ladies. It's not just the ladies' problem.
Okay, so
I have young men that I mentor as well who are always, in my inbox.
The first thing I would say to you is this: you need to plan your life by yourself. Please, that attitude we have that God has a plan for us, we have to wait for God to do the plan for us, and then please reduce that attitude. That's religion. That's not reality.
Wait.
Whatever plan God has for you, it is before you were born.
Wait. You can't tell them to remove God from it.
I'm not saying remove.
Yes.
I'm saying tune that down. First of all, God is the Almighty. God is not your father on earth. You have a father. That's why we have vessels.
Yes.
There are vessels, male and female, mother and father. Those vessels are what God used to produce you on earth.
Yes.
That's your first stop. A lot of our youths are bypassing even their parents. They will say, oh, they love God, but they can abuse their parents, they can do this, they can do that. That's nonsense.
Okay,
that's not right.
That I don't agree with.
Yes.
But to tell someone to tone down their love for God,
no, I'm not saying the love.
I don't agree.
I'm saying, well, not just the love. I'm saying the attitude of carrying everything every time, believing that God will just appear and take everything and carrying you up to somewhere.
Then you're going to be tired with some of us. So we take God everywhere.
I don't disagree.
Right now, God is here. I'll carry God everywhere.
No, the thing is,
if anybody's bringing me trouble, I'll bring God to them.
God lives in us.
If any poverty is coming to me, I'll bring God to them.
God lives in us, all of us. So there's no selfishness about that. There's nobody that has more God than the other person.
Yeah.
There's none. So long as you have flesh and blood, it means you have a spirit, you have a soul, and you have a body.
But okay, so explain what you mean by they need to tone it down.
They need to face reality. How can you be hungry and you are saying God will provide and you are still hungry? How can you do that when God has provided already? God has provided because, okay, you want to make money, right?
Are you indirectly saying what's his name said? What that president?
Who?
Is it Buhari that said that the youth,
are lazy.
Nigerian youth are lazy?
Yeah, Buhari said that.
Yeah.
No, but
are you directly saying that?
I can't say so.
These ones who are praying.
No, that's nonsense. Saying how can you say Nigerian African youths are lazy? They're not lazy. They're very intelligent people. That's why they can even look. They can make you to sell your house and give them the money. They're very smart. So don't. But the thing is the focus. That's what I'm trying to bring in. The focus for you to succeed, first of all,
right?
You must accept your situation wherever you are. You must accept it. You must not be saying or feeling that because you are in Urumi or Auchi or Benin or Port Harcourt or Ibadan or whatever, that you are not in the right place to make it. Making it can come from anywhere.
This is the thing.
Anywhere.
My brother, this is the thing. How do we people that are sitting here in the diaspora, they say we have lights. Even in this studio right now, we have lights. That's why, by the way, guys, if you never know why I wear my dark glasses, I am light sensitive, like to any light. But even in this studio, it's so bright right now. So we have lights here, right? We have running water, we have food. When you go to the supermarket, the same sugar or bread, there's 3 types. There's that not low quality, but low price, mid-range, and finest. Tesco have this finest, more expensive. So, people can buy according to their pockets.
Yes.
Now, we come from a continent where we don't have that. You can't buy according to your pocket. That same bread that Dangote is going to buy is the same bread that the woman that hasn't got a penny is going to buy. You know? So we are quite comfortable sitting here trying to tell them, you make it in that environment. When you know that environment, there's a lot of bureaucracy as well.
No, I tell you, what I'm just trying to say, look, first of all, you sit in a place, where you are saying there's nothing good about the place. How can you ever see anything good?
Okay, so then maybe you need to help them see.
That's what I'm saying.
I need to
That's
help
where I'm
them
going.
see what is good in that place.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. First of all, anywhere you are, town or village, the people have needs, not needs, not one, not two, not three. So how many of the needs of your people do you know? Because the things we look at, I mean the young ones I know, they don't look at the needs around them. They are most of them are selfish only to themselves. And the very popular saying is, I go make them. I go make them. You know, I go blow. You can't blow overnight, and you can't make it overnight. I mean, real money is there. I don't believe there's anybody who cannot make it. I don't believe it, and I don't believe there's anybody that cannot be rich.
Yeah.
Every one of us have a reason and a circumstance to be rich, no matter where you are. It is how. Okay, I'll give you an example. A youth copper. You know what youth copper in Nigeria? NYSC is after university, you serve for 1 year.
Yeah.
The young man...
Is that compulsory?
Yeah, it's compulsory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It used to be in my country, Kenya, but it's not anymore.
Okay. The young man, when he was finishing the last month, he was scared because they paid them peanuts. I think 35 or so. But of course, they manage it and live with it. So when he was finishing, he discovered that he has no money. And that if he leaves that, after the youth corps, he was going to face a very more harsh reality. Because there's no job, there's no money.
Okay, so they
What
get
did he
paid?
do? No, they get paid. Yeah.
Per month?
Yeah, about 35K.
35K a month?
Nigerian money, yes.
Okay, so with that money, where do they live? Is that...
Some of them leave, you know, they're transferred into different places, different states.
So that doesn't include accommodation?
No, some schools give them accommodation. They call it Copper's Lodge.
Oh, okay.
Some companies also do that for them. I'm not saying all.
But still 35.
Yeah, well, you can look.
Wow.
If you buy a wrap of eba in Nigeria, it's 200 naira. If you buy 2 wraps and you say, Mama, I don't want meat, they will give you soup. You go chop them, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's how everybody should be, but I'm just saying, from where I come from, we know how to use the minimum for the maximum.
Yeah.
We do it. Now, I'm just talking about this boy's example.
Yeah.
On that last month, when reality dawned on to him that, I'm going to suffer, he saw a woman by the side of the Copper's Lodge, a woman who does this fish. She fries fish and all that, and people buy from her. He watched her for a week, and he saw cars sometimes stop and come to buy. So he wondered if this is not something he may like to do. But of course, there's a friend of his that he just sort of, asked if, and I was like, how can you buy? I mean, come on, think of something else. You read engineering, you want to do, that kind of stuff. But you know what? He went to buy a small frying pan, and then he went to another side and started doing the fish thing to see if it would work. And then he was now also asking those who were doing it how they do the sauce that they put on it. When he finished his youth corps, he didn't leave that town. He still continued with that business because the business was now thriving bit by bit. When he collected some amount, he said he got about, 100,000. He went to Lagos, started doing the same thing. Now, today, he has about 10 outlets in Lagos today.
Wow.
He has not even looked for a job.
Right.
Because what he said was, for his own conviction, looking for a job is looking for money. But here is money.
That's money.
Why do I need the job that I read all the years for? But which is not the right way. That we should I'm not saying you cannot do that, but I'm saying that you must study something that will be useful in your life, something you can transform
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. That do you have to rely on your degrees, or you can just
No,
if you don't have
no.
a degree,
I
you
think-
can go straight into skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Degree, I think the university is just a place for you to interact,
Yeah.
network,
So
understand.
it's not necessary.
No,
I mean, Richard Branson didn't go until
of course
he was in his 50s.
we in Africa now, we should stop forcing our children to be going to university and all that. They should be entrepreneurial. They should have skills. So those who are back home saying that, oh, there's no money, you don't have to look at it because there's no money. You can create money. You can. There are so many, I cannot even name. Look, there's a girl I met in a petrol station. I went, my tire, I had a problem, puncture, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went to fix it. I left the car, went somewhere, came back to pick it up because by then they would have fixed it. I met a very young girl, and she had a paper by her side. It was going up and down. So I said to one of the mechanics, I said, have you finished with my car? That car. I said, yes, I finished, sir. I said, so who do I see to pay for? He said, oh, that girl. He called her, and she came. And we exchanged greetings, and she said, your money is, I think, 15,000. And I said, well, who are you here, sorry? He said, oh, I'm the secretary here. I'm in charge. I supervise them. And I looked at her, I said, how old are you? I'm sorry. Don't be. He said, but why? Why are you people always asking me how old? I said, just tell me, don't. He said, she's 23, I think, or 24. I was so impressed.
Wow.
When I came back for her, to just look for her, to talk to her, and I said, what made you come to do that? She said, because there was no money. I'm just doing it to make money.
So are you saying that these ones who are complaining, they haven't really hit rock bottom?
They
haven't hit rock bottom.
Pauline,
they haven't seen the pain.
They have not. They
haven't experienced the
I
pain.
I told that girl, you are on your way to your first million, but you must remain. That ability for her to go out of her space and go into a job that was meant for men. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing. That is what many of them could do today. Right. Many of them cannot go to farm. They think farming is the dirty thing.
That's it. That is what was supposed to be our topic today. Yeah. And we were supposed to have a big farming, agribusiness boss all the way from Nigeria, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. So hopefully next week we can have her. And this is what I was thinking, that is farming the hidden money that we still don't know, that young people still look at. No, it's a dirty job.
Look, my daughter.
It's for people that are miserable and
see,
old.
my daughter one of my daughters just finished her uni. She has finished serving and she's at home. She's looking for a good job.
Good job.
Yeah. But you know what she did?
I always say good job. Yeah, but you see, which one is the good job?
Oh well,
and which is bad
plenty
job?
Money. That is the good. Just earn plenty money. Now the thing is, I discovered that she used to do smoothie for me at home. Yeah. She is fantastic. When her smoothie, I can take it as a meal. Yeah. If I can.
And just rest.
Yeah. So when she told me, oh, Daddy, I want to be cooking, and I said, oh, what about the job you're looking for? She said, when I get a job, I use it. But meanwhile, I need that for my bills. I have never had such a wonderful thing for a long time.
Same daddy. Same daddy's bank.
And she right now, she's getting orders. Yes. She's doing it privately in her own household. And she's getting orders from people. Orders. I have another of my daughter who went into real estate. And she said, oh, you're not doing the real estate correctly. There are other ways to do it. I said, how? She said, I'll let you know. And she just took a job from a real estate. The real estate company she first worked for was paying her peanuts. But now, under 2 years, she has changed job about 2-3 times. And you got to see her with the crash helmet, going to sites and all that. Yeah. She didn't read that. The one who I said was doing cooking, Vanny, she didn't read catering. That's what I'm trying to say to all these young ones. It is not what you have read Because many of you went to school without knowing what subject you wanted to have. You don't need to have gone to school to study what is not useful for the society.
So it's the pressure of the parent. They have to fulfill their duty. That's why they went to school. I'm sure some of them would have they thought, oh, maybe they've got to a certain point where they think, you know what, instead of going to university, that money my mom and dad could have given me to set up a business. But you can't tell that to an African parent.
No.
You cannot do that. So I know that we are addressing the young people.
Yes.
But really and truly, we should be addressing the parents, right?
Yes, the parents are part of it, but
change of mindset.
I think the first thing is we need proper career counselors in schools. Proper, I say. Because in this university here, South Bank, when I went to have a chat with final year students some years ago.
Yeah.
The students discovered, after we discussed about their life after school, the challenges and all that, many of them said, if we knew this is what it will be, we shouldn't have studied this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just frank.
So I think maybe all the way from primary school to secondary to
it should be set up.
Stage, they should be set up.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, it's not up to us to wait for the government to set it up.
No.
You know, parents also need to know this, and then, you know, we take it on as parents. And,
you see, parents, I don't know how much, because every school has the Parents Teachers Association.
Yes.
That's where they are supposed to influence the schools.
That's in the UK, not in Africa, right?
No, there is in Africa.
As well?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
there
I
is.
don't think when I was in school in Africa, I went to a private school. We didn't have that anyway.
Oh, really?
So, no, there wasn't. I don't think, no.
Yeah,
back then.
We have.
You did? When you were in school in Nigeria? You did have that parents?
In my time?
Yeah.
How can I have that? In my time, there wasn't anything.
Yeah. But, well, I'm sure maybe right now in Africa. Or
no, they have it now. I know they have it. Yeah.
Amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
So, you see, we need to we need, even now that because we have so many graduates who have no jobs. I wonder why they should not advise them to form bits of cooperatives.
Instead of going from secondary school straight to university, because you know what happens as well, which is quite sad, is some of these parents have really struggled to pay for the school fees.
Yeah, of course.
And then struggled now to pay for university because of the pressure that, oh, our son is the first person in the village to go to university. You know, there's that added pressure. Oh, our daughter is the first from the clan to go to university. But however, they get sad. They soon pour cold water to it when that son or daughter does not get a job or find a job.
You see, that mindset is what we should try to help our youth for. You do not go to school because you want to get that big job. That's not the first focus. Your main focus of going to school is to study a subject you love.
No, but we need to address the parents. No parent want. We still have this stigma in Africa.
If we talk about,
if I was to get married to your brother, my parents will check.
Yeah, of course.
The education.
Yeah.
As your brother got a degree, that's the pressure I'm saying. We should take that pressure off.
Of course.
You understand? So every parent is racing. Every African parent is racing to make sure that their child has got a degree. I
have daughters, and I tell my daughters, don't fall for a guy because of his money. He doesn't have money.
No, but what about education? Do you tell?
Yes, no. Hold on. For me, I'm talking of me. I tell my daughters, you know, education first of all, it's not compulsory for the guy to have 10 degrees or 2 degrees or anything. It's not compulsory.
Wait, but at least one.
Well, let me give you my own yardstick. All I say to them first is, have a conversation with him, and see what his inspirations are. Because
will you not frown upon if your daughter who has a degree or how many 2 degrees comes and brings you a man that he wants to marry and hasn't got, as an African, you know, and hasn't got a degree at all,
Yes.
will you not frown like on the guy?
I have got also now an experience
Yeah.
that degree does not make a man. Degree does not make you successful.
So we
Degree
need
is
to have this conversation with the parents then.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
Degree is just an academic exercise. Like I said, if the guy is having conversation with you, listen to what he's saying. How inspirational is he? And what are the plans he has for himself, for the future? You know, when you listen to a guy, or even listen to a girl, you would know their antecedents, where they are going. That's the kind of information you can use to marry anybody. Of course, the parents are good to know the parents and all that. But that's secondary. The first thing is two of you. What conversation are you having? Not the degree. Degree comes later. If there's no degree, there's nothing bad if the guy is a fantastic guy. Yeah.
Well, I think that we should have this conversation with these African parents. I mean, excluding me because I'm not involved
Anymore.
No. I'm not involved.
You've done it.
For me, like, you know, I think that happiness is not, for me, happiness between the two is more important to me than even what they have.
Exactly.
Happiness, that's it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, and on that note, yeah, I'm excited to let you all know that today we are honoring Don Pedro Okojie with BAFTA Award. Oh my God. It's been a long time coming. If there's anybody that deserves this award, anybody at all, it's this man sat right here next to me. Unfortunately, we couldn't present this award to him last year at the star-studded over 1,500 attendees at the BAFTA Awards during the Black History Month last year because he was out of the country. But today, oh my goodness, I'm honored. Honored. Oh, where's the drum roll? Come on, guys.
Wow.
Oh my God, look at this.
Wow.
Isn't it a cutie?
It is so
Well
beautiful.
done. Yes.
Wow,
you
thank you.
deserve it. Just
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
legendary, you know, the service that you've offered within the media industry. We didn't even touch on the real estate, you know, and all the other things that he does. This is just for him, you know, servicing us in the media and also the artists and just being the wonderful, the amazing, the excellent Don Pedro Okojie. Come on now, the floor is yours.
Come
what do you
on
want
now.
to say? Look at the camera and say something.
Well, I was told last year I had this award and I was a winner. She called me, and unfortunately I couldn't attend. Although I've been going to see a lot of the BAFTA awards over the years. I want to thank you, my sister from a different mother, Dr. Pauline Long. You're such a wonderful person. And I'm so glad also to hear about the children, how they are doing so good. They used to run around the
Bless God.
studios.
Yes.
You know,
When they were little, yeah.
Yes, you know. And all the members of the BAFTA, and all those who have been working behind the scenes, a lot of you wonderful people who have made BAFTA to become what it is today. This award is also for you.
17 years.
17 years is no joke. And I also want to thank all my friends back in Africa, especially those in the music scene of my time. And also in the broadcasting side, I want to thank channels, television, NT International, and NCDMB. Yes, they gave me a chance in Nigeria, Nigerian Content Promotion Local Content Board. They did very well. The executive secretary there, who was a very good friend of mine, in the sense that he saw from London and said, "Come and do this."
Give you opportunity.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You know, and also for all the Nigerian hard-working men and women in any aspect of their life, I dedicate this award to you to tell you that there's nothing you can do that goes away. There must be a return. One day there must be a recall. I thank you for this, and I thank the Almighty Father for this day that I've come. Thank you very much.
And of course, the almighty Ben Television that.
Oh,
you know,
Alista
that
Shoyode.
gave you
Alista was
I didn't even know you from any other.
I know.
We're giving you this because you are on Ben Television doing amazing.
I know. Ben Television is my home. I still want Ben Television to come back. I mean, it's one of the most fantastic places I've ever been. Such joy to work in a place where the engineers, the producers, the cameramen, everybody is a family. And wherever they are, I want to thank all of them. Or anybody that has worked in Ben TV, thank you very much for knowing you, for being with you. And thank you, Alista, for that fantastic thing you did. Carrying the black race. Black race all over Sky in the UK and Europe. Thank you very much.
Well done. Congratulations, guys. You know, it's always great to honor people when they're still here. It's always wonderful to give flowers to, you know, people that are still here. So well done. Congratulations. Truly and well deserved. I mean, there's more to come. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, keep it locked here. God bless you.
You are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.